7.
All right, good morning. I have a thumbs up, so we are Facebook Live for our work session. This is in preparation for our recess meeting of March the 18th, which will move us out of this month and into the next. So I have been asked to make announcements, so I'm going to do that real quick. We also do not have a program today. I've set up for one that is going to be coming next time around, but we don't have anything today except going over our agenda items. So let me make the announcement that Mr. Kemp has wanted me to make regarding the home energy workshop. So I'm going to read off of this, and they've got a flyer out. They put it on their social, but I'll go ahead and do this as well. So Tuesday, April the 8th, this is the energy workshop that's from 6 to 7 p.m. at Peters Rock down on MLK Drive. And then Wednesday, April the 9th is from 11:30 to 12:30 at the Needmore Center on Gillespie Street. Also from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Needmore Center on Gillespie Street, and then again from 5 to 5:45 at the First Methodist Church on Lampkin Street. That's all Wednesday, April the 9th. And then on Thursday, April the 10th, we've got one from 10 to 11 a.m. at the GTPDD for their senior group, 106 Miley Drive. And then from 11:30 to 12:30, we've got one at the Sportsplex Annex Building, which is 401 Lynn Lane. And then from 1 to 2, another one at the Sportsplex Annex Building, 401 Lynn Lane. And then one last one on Thursday, April the 10th, from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Episcopal Church, which is on, technically on North Montgomery Street. I guess it's North Montgomery Street. So, yes, ma'am.
Would you encourage anyone who has any doubts about what ward they may be voting in? They're welcome to call the city clerk's office, and we can look it up for them before they go to the polls to vote.
Okay, yeah, and we do have absentee voting going on right now from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And is it this Saturday or the next? It'll be the next Saturday.
22nd and 29th.
The 22nd and 29th for 8 to 12. And if you have any concerns about what ward you are in, you can visit the city's website and look at the map, which we've got one of those, or you can call the city clerk's office 323-2525 extension 5002, and the city clerk's office can help you determine what ward you're in based on your residence, obviously. So, all right, cool. Well, now all my public service announcements are done, and we will go right into the agenda items, which is first we have consideration of minutes, and Mr. Huskisson is not here. He is skiing in Jackson Hole, bless his heart. But he is blessed the minutes, is that correct, Ms. Harden? So can we do consent for those two items? All right. And then made my announcements, and I'll make those again at the board meeting. So moving along to public hearings, we've got two of them. One of them is a rezoning of 502 and 508 McKee Avenue and the southern portion of 407 Scales Street. And Mr. McCaskey is standing in for Mr. Haviland today. So you want to give us a little update on those?
Yes. Okay. So people hear zoning and they get a little scared, but this is technically a mistake that was made starting back in 2005 when it originally was approved by the Board of Aldermen to rezone several of these lots to being a PUD. And essentially, it correctly in 2013 and then in 2019, the PUD was located instead on the map over at Jersey Park instead of on the proper property. So it maintained the T&E zoning district as just traditional neighborhood existing.
So is this a Scrivener's error?
Yeah, this is essentially us correcting an error. The applicant is not at fault. And actually, through Crabtree coming back up here and going through this process, we've been able to clean up, and this another going items off here, the lot lines, and preserve what would be essentially a detached dwelling on Scale Street. And originally this PUD was for 25 units, which it's down to 14 now, so it actually still falls within the density threshold of that area.
Okay, but it is a Scrivener's error as much as anything for us to make that correct on our part. Okay, all right, well, we'll have to have the public hearing on it, so it's just a matter of learning exactly what it was. And then secondarily, we've got a public hearing on a 21-1911 located at 117 Curtis Street, and they will be making that presentation on Tuesday night. So again, nothing for us to do at this point in time, but there is no one residing there, just for our information. Mayor has no business and the board has no business, so we'll move on to those who have business. First, airport, we have an agricultural lease, and this is a repeat, same vendor, and Burke has looked at it, it's all good?
He will, if there's any changes.
Well, there's no changes to it, right?
Well, I just.
Yeah, he's-
Just changing dates?
He's looked at it, he said he was fine.
Okay, all right, so consent for this one? All right. Community development, Lyle up again for final plat, excuse
Yes,
me.
okay, so this one's located north of University Drive and east of Camp Avenue, in a T5U zoning district. Basically, they're reconfiguring one lot into two lots. This did previously get approved by the Board of Aldermen when they were doing 3 lots into 2, but before they actually went and recorded it, the owner actually stepped back and said, hey, I want to make some changes to this, so it was never recorded, so this has been basically making changes to go through the process again.
Okay, and it got approved by, or DRC?
March 6th.
Okay, no problem with it?
There's no problem.
Okay. Any issue, consent on this final plat? Okay. And then we have another final plat, which is McKee Cottages subdivision.
Yes, so this one goes kind of hand in hand with the PUD. This one is basically cleaning up all the lot lines, because originally when this was done, since it wasn't applied properly, this basically makes it to where we get that additional lot for the detached dwelling on scales, and then instead of having 4, or actually more than 4 lots, it just cleaner lot lines, easements.
Okay, if this goes with the public hearing, do we not need to hold it until the public hearing is held?
Essentially,
Would they be counterproductive to one another?
No, the way that it needs to happen is essentially it does need to go through the hearing first, and then once it's done with that, as long as you condition it that it is approved, it can go through.
Well, but this is consent, so I was just trying to get the.
Yeah, no, I don't think it needs to.
Okay, let's just leave it where it is, and we'll do it as a part of it after that. Okay.
I do have a quick question, Lyle. Is this the lot that we condemned? Part of that?
It is the one that
Yes.
had the structure that was over
Okay.
on near the right of way.
Gotcha. Okay.
And just to full disclosure, the one previous to it up here, the Atkerson, that is to facilitate the hotel property and the development of the foundation property.
Yes,
So,
potentially, yes.
yeah, okay. All
Mr.
right.
Mayor, if you hear me.
Yes, sir.
Hello there, Alderman.
I'm not able to, I've got the agenda up, but I'm not able to see that Atkerson plat. Could we hold that off of consent?
Sure.
And I'll be back in town Sunday. I'm sure there's nothing. I just would like to take a quick peek at it since it's, it's in Ward 4.
Sure, no problem. We'll pull that one from consent. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Under engineering, anything, Mr. Kappelman wants to travel, and we think that's a good idea. So, consent, and it's in the budget, right? Consent for that one? All right, and then the construction bid for the Spring Street connector?
This is a reconnection.
Yes, you want to share that a little bit?
I will. This is the MDOT Transportation Alternative Grant that we're building off of, that we did at the Chick-fil-A intersection. The rules that MDOT and Federal Highway have, if you get a single bid and it's over 10% of the engineer's estimate, they require you to reject the bid and re-advertise.
Okay, and it fell in those, under those parameters?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we will be re-advertising, and if this happens again on the second time, we'll let you proceed.
Okay.
They actually let it happen twice.
Okay, all right,
The
consent.
bid was over 14.3%, so what I'm saying is it wasn't a huge bust that we've got to go back and try to redo.
Right, but it falls in that 10%.
Right,
Okay,
it falls
consent.
in their rules.
Consent for that one. And then approval to purchase a skid steer. And we're working on how to finance that, but that is the best work for us to continue doing the things that we do, so.
Yes,
all
so,
right.
and the delivery timeline said 90 days, but they're actually going to deliver the skid steer in 14 days, but it's the trailer and the accessories.
Okay, all right, so consent for that one? Okay. And then we'll skip the claims docket, and we've got acceptance of the financials. Anything you want to share about the financials, Ms. Harden? Okay, consent for that one. Approval to revise the mechanical service agreement with Brislin for, this is for City Hall. We've done one for the police department, right? So, City Hall, consent for that one? Okay. And then adding vehicles to the unmarked cars list. Consent for that one? HR, Mr. Ashford.
Yes, ma'am.
All of these?
All of them except number 3. Number 3 is part of the restructuring and utilities in the metering
Okay.
and building department. And so, but the rest of them are replacements.
Okay. Any issues for that? Consent for those? All right. So we'll roll down. Then under parks, we've got change order from McKee Parks Improvements with Ethos. Consent for that. I tell you what, Chris, tell us a little bit about what they are, as long as we're here with a minute or two.
Right, so this is the gate out of the front entrance. It's redoing it, so it'll be brick columns and a decorative gate to have vehicle access control. There's a few other items such as a curb and gutter, a few replacements on it. The small pavilions are adding big fans for it, so it's electrical circuits for those, and then the rotary signage for the
Pavilion?
for whenever they're coming in to give us our, donation. This is the signage for the pavilion, so this is designating the Rotary Pavilion.
Okay. All right. Consent for that one? Okay. And then we've got the low bid from Byram for the box culvert, so, ouch. Consent for that one. Actually, it came in under. I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
It came in under, but nonetheless, it's still a large amount. Consent for that one. Professional services for Artful Gardener, and this is for the design work for Cornerstone Park, for the greenery and the flowers and
Arboretum.
arboretum.
First stages
Well, I
in
knew
the
there was a
arboretum.
technical term, but yes. the
First
pretty
stages in the
stuff.
arboretum, and we're trying to have that arboretum done in a way that it can be advertised with state tourism listings of arboreta, that sort of thing.
There's 3 different levels for arboretums. The first one's 30 trees, second one's 60 trees, and the top one's 120. So it's ArbNet is the organization that certifies them. So this is the first step in trying to get the first certification level. And if we are successful, that will be the only municipality in the state that has a certified arboretum.
Okay, just.
We're
no,
also
go ahead,
looking
sorry.
at design charrette for April 11th, so any of the board that would like to attend that, and we're doing it on campus with the landscape architecture
Yeah.
department.
Okay, and it unfortunately, part of it conflicts with work session, but that's all right, you can come and go. Lisa, do me a favor and add Cornerstone Park, make it, say, designate it as Arboretum, Cornerstone Park Arboretum, just so we'll have that for posterity and all others who might be interested. So consent for that one? Okay, and then ADA improvements, and this is which park?
This is for the dog park at Moncrief. We're overlaying that parking lot later this year. The concrete provides an ADA parking spot, and that is a heavily used dog park, I would say.
It
So
is. Well, it's the only one we've got, so
it's
yes.
a needed improvement, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and add Moncrief to it, would you please, Lisa? And when we're doing this, let's make sure we get the locations unless it's multiples of some kind. So,
Absolutely.
okay, cool, thank you. All right, under police, AC, we've got lease agreements for the motorcycles. Okay, anything about those you need to share? Just,
Switching out 3 for new 3 motorcycles.
okay, consent for those?
How many total, 3 or 6?
3.
Three. We've only got 3, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. It's
Yeah.
making
Okay,
sense.
they're 2 items, and I was
Yeah.
getting them kind of muddled.
Yeah. And then the police department interlocal agreement for traffic enforcement, anything you can share about that? Or is it just, is it a new organization or?
That's gonna be Chris Jackson, his task force, he's in the class right
Okay, all right, so it's a class?
now. No, he's in a class and.
Oh, he's in a class.
That's
okay.
not his, that's what he's.
The interlocal is in the board packet, and it is between, I believe, about 12 entities.
Okay,
And I emailed it to Mr. Huskisson yesterday afternoon when I received it, and he said he would proof it over the weekend.
okay, well, we could always pull it, we can put it on a consent and pull it if we need to, does that work? Okay, all right, consent. And then a 100% reimbursable grant for Homeland Security for police equipment, consent for that one, okay? And then last but not least, under police, we have 60 months with the enterprise for our Dodge Durango Dare vehicle. So consent for that one? All right. And then moving down to utilities, we have, Mr. Kemp is also on the phone advertising for bids for the 69 kV tap line. Consent for anything, anybody, any of these, John, that you want to share in person as opposed to calling on?
No.
Okay, all right, so consent for that one? All right. Advertising for bids for the Starkville primary to MSU, that's for the transmission line relocations. Consent for that one? Advertising for bids for, it's considered the same, it's the same transmission line relocation, right? Okay, consent for that one? And lower quote for electric motor sales and service for a well cost. Consent, okay? and a lower quote for fence sales for, and my question is, and this is to either to you or Edward, is this that black chain link, or are we doing the black chain link? Edward?
I don't remember.
Mayor, I believe this is just the standard, because these are gonna be internal fences,
Oh, okay.
just to separate the different areas within the Curry Street site.
Okay, so
So
they're not outward,
I don't know.
they're not outward facing.
No, ma'am, they're gonna be internal.
Okay, consent? Okay. And then Golden Triangle PDD, this is a CDBG application for us reapplying for Henderson Road. Fortunately, Ms. Benson is here if there are any additional questions, but we did not get the one that we applied for, so we're reapplying. So, anything, Ms. Phyllis, that you wish to share with us on that? Okay.
No, just to let you know that we'll start procurement process for engineering services.
Okay, all right.
We'll get all that. The application is due May 16th, so.
And we're on a
I gotta
fast track.
Pick them up, put them down.
Yeah,
We're gonna go through the town hall meeting, all through the whole process again?
yes.
Yes, sir, we will, and resurvey.
So, consent for that one?
Yes, I was just down last Tuesday.
Yeah. All right, well, and that takes us to the end, guys, so if we got anything, we got a little time here? Anything anybody wants to talk about? Yes, ma'am.
I was late to the meeting, and I don't know if you addressed this in your comments for Tuesday night, but when you announced the election and that sort of thing, would you remind people that we redistricted?
We did, and said that you can either call the city clerk's
Okay.
office, or else you can look on the website
Okay.
and look at the interactive map. So,
Okay.
yes, did do all that.
And the
All right.
Secretary of State's website also has a
Oh,
locator that's easy to use.
I did not mention that one. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, there's nothing else, thank you. We are out, we'll adjourn this one. Thank you, everyone, appreciate